Hey, what's up? It's Hillary. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my May TBR. The way I usually go through this is I first start out with some book club books and then talk about other books that I have picked for this month. But let me just say, this month was so hard to narrow down to just 9 books. And I know that sounds crazy because I don't always get to the 9 that I pick anyways. Man, book clubs were picking some really great choices, and then also there are just so many new releases that came out in April that I still feel I've got a bit of a backlog, and then there are some really good new releases coming out in May as well. So this was a really hard choice, and you know, no promises that I don't swap any books in or out of this list, but this is my best guess at this moment. So my first book club book for May is going to be Burn Down Master's House. This is a historical fiction with some horror. It's inspired by true, long-buried stories of enslaved people who dared to fight back. So I imagine that the horror aspects are actually grounded in reality of what the enslaved people faced during the times of the Civil War. I've seen really great reviews online saying that this should be required reading for everyone who lives in the US. I'm also a little bit excited by the size of this book and hoping that it will be somewhat of a quick hit and, you know, one that I can confidently read in the month of May. The second book club book for May is going to be The Everlasting. This is a standalone romantasy featuring a lady knight and one of my favorite storylines of I Will Love You in Any Lifetime. Now, I did find out that there's actually a very short novella, like 30-something pages, by Alix Harrow called 6 Deaths of a Saint, that people are saying if you read that before this, it really helps pack a punch, that you don't have to read it before this. So I might look into that and see, you know, is it on Kindle Unlimited or the library or something like that, and see if I think I can read it before I read this. I just think this book is so beautiful with the deep teal and the flowers. So I really look forward to this one. Next book club book for May is going to be I, Medusa, which is a mythology retelling. It is a version of the villain origin story of Medusa. After her locks are transformed into snakes as punishment for a crime she didn't commit, Medusa embraces a new identity of a vigilante. So that sounds really exciting. I love villain origin stories. I don't always love mythology retellings, but if we're going to do a retelling, I feel like Medusa is going to be the most interesting one, so I am really hopeful for this. The fourth book club book is Still Into You by Erin, and I actually won this book in the Book Huddle giveaway this month. I'm so excited. Every month she has giveaways for the books of the month, and this is the first time that I have ever won one. So this was sent to me by the publisher, and I got this little info sheet. And so it says, enter your emo phase. What to expect. Set in 2010. Rock star ex-journalist. Angsty second chance. He's so down bad. Single POV. Sloane. So Sloane must be our girl. She's demisexual, that's really exciting, so am I, and discussions of mental health. So basically what this one is about, Sloane is a rock music journalist, and she is given sort of a career-changing opportunity to do a tell-all on Dax, who is a rock star, but it turns out they have a past. And so this career-changing opportunity comes at a price, which is a chance to rewrite the ending with her first and only love. And the fact that that info sheet says it's emo, I'm very excited for this. I definitely, in the 2010s, was into emo rock and punk rock and things like that. I went to Warped Tour, and a couple of years ago I went to Vegas for the When We Were Young Fest, which is basically all the Warped Tour bands redoing a tour. And for that year when I went, each band had an album that they did front to back. So that was awesome. This one sounds so fun. Okay, that is all for the book club picks this month. There were more book club picks, but I just either decided not to read them or had already read them, and those are the ones that I am definitely going to focus on. All right, the next book I'm going to talk about is Ballad of the Falling Dragons, which is the sequel to When the Moon Hatched. This is a new release in May and comes out on May 19th, and I'm actually going to the Fantasy Fangirls book release party at Tattered Cover on the 18th. So the party starts on the 18th, and then we get our books at either midnight or sometimes it's 10 o'clock Mountain Time because that's midnight Eastern. It kind of depends on the publisher, but I am really looking forward to this. I absolutely loved When the Moon Hatched. I know that that can be a divisive book. Some people love it, some people hate it. I loved it. I love Sarah A. Parker's lyrical writing and just how beautiful certain parts of the book were, like Convagor searching for the shards of the fallen dragon, and Kazari at the end receiving the parchment lark, and in general the parchment lark. Yeah, just so heartbreaking. There were so many scenes in that book that really broke my heart and made me feel really connected and attached to the characters in the book. So I am really excited to see what happens in the sequel. I feel like we might be following Kazari more than Rave, but that is a pure guess. Next we have Honey, which is another new release in May. It comes out on May 5th, and I did pre-order this book already, so I should be receiving it soon. This is categorized as both horror and thriller, and the description said that it's about a grad student who murders bad men and justifies it in the name of feminism. I mean, I support women's rights. I also support women's wrongs, so I am really excited to read this. I've never read anything by this author before, so I'm really excited to give this author a shot and see if I like Honey. Next is going to be Score by Kennedy Ryan, which is the sequel to Real, which was one of my favorite books of 2025. And Kennedy Ryan is just generally one of my favorite authors, and so I'm very excited for this. In the book Real, they are filming a biopic, and we meet Monk and Verity. Monk, I believe, was the score musician for the biopic, and then Verity was the screenwriter. And we kind of got some hints that they had a past, but we didn't get to learn what that past was or what had happened between them. And so this is going to be their book where we learn about their past and see if they can make it work with the second chance. This one comes out May 19th. I have already pre-ordered this, so I should be receiving it later on in the month. Next, we have Seek the Traitor's Son, another May release. This is coming out May 12th. I told you guys there's a lot of new releases. So I received both the ARC advanced reader copy and advanced listener copy for this on NetGalley, so I'm hoping to do an immersive read. This is by Veronica Roth, who is the author of the Divergent trilogy, which was my jam back when it came out. So this is described as an epic, romantic, dystopian fantasy, and it's in a future dystopian version of Earth. There's an ongoing conflict between two groups. Elegy is our main character, who is a soldier, and then we've also got Raba, who is a powerful war general. One of them will lead their people to victory, but we don't know who. So that is intriguing. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of political intrigue and quite a bit of world building to understand these two groups and what this ongoing conflict is. This is the beginning of a new series. I am not sure how long the series is anticipated to be. The last book on my May TBR is thankfully one that is already out, and it is A Stage Set for Villains. This is a dark YA romantasy. I've heard a lot of people who have read it say that this has really unique world building and is such a unique magic system that's based on acting techniques. I'm very intrigued by that. I don't have any idea how to even conceptualize what that might be like. And a lot of people that have read it have also said this is such a great book for theater kids, like it really gets to people's theater hearts. I was a theater kid. I didn't continue with it once I got to about age 12, but as a child I was in a lot of plays and things like that and really loved singing and musicals. And so I'm really excited to check this out and kind of experience this really unique magic system and world. All right, that's going to be it. Those are the 9 books that I hope to read in May. Let me know if any of these books are also on your May TBR, and if you've read them already, let me know down in the comments what you thought. I can't wait to check all of these out, and be on the lookout for any potential reading vlogs during the month where I might be reading some of these. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for videos in the future. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.